We'll talk about the origin of culture studies. Culture studies started in the year 1964 by the setting up of a postgraduate research center at the University of Birmingham. It is called as the Center for Contemporary Cultural Studies. And this term, cultural studies, is a term that was coined by Richard Hoggart. And you also have three originating core texts of culture studies. Now we'll talk about a few terms and concepts being used in the study of culture. The first is text. For instance, if you take up new historicism, the term text will refer to a novel or a drama or a piece of poem, something like that. But then, as far as cultural studies is concerned, text is not only the presence of a physical text. It does not refer to only something that is concrete in the form of this particular book, but then it could also refer to a photograph, say this particular photograph. You could also look at this particular mug and you could study culture. And a lot of other things are considered as text in the context of cultural studies. For instance, you have TV programs, you have films, you have programs, you have photographs, you have live shows. All this can form a subject matter for the study of culture. So, all this is what is called as a text. And then you have the concept of commodification. Commodification, it came up with the development of Marxism. Later on, we'll also look at the influence of Marxism on culture studies because you cannot understand culture studies better without an understanding of Marxism. Commodification is basically the art of taking something from its original form and making it something that is resaleable or something that could be sold. So that is what is called as commodification. You have Harry Potter, who's a very famous character. He is a very favorite character for most of the kids who were probably born in the 90s. Now, what happens is people born in the 90s are probably in their youth right now. For instance, I read Harry Potter when I was in school. And now, in order to gain the market, the producers or the owners of various productions, what they take to doing is you have coffee mugs with Harry Potter. You have books, you have pens with Harry Potter's images, just so that you make people buy that particular product. And even I have bought a number of books with the cover page of, Harry Potter, a number of these slogans from Harry Potter, a number of lines from the novel, and all of it. So that is an instance of commodification because you're taking something in its original form and you create something new that could be sold and something that could be considered as a commodity with saleable value. So that is the process of commodification. The next is cultural hegemony. Now, cultural hegemony is one term which we have been hearing over and over again. You have this term being coined by Antonio Gramsci. Cultural hegemony is manipulating the culture of the society and imposing the culture of the ruling class. Again, it is hegemony, but in terms of culture. You're imposing the culture of the elite class or say the ruling class on the people just so that it becomes an accepted universal worldview. So that is what is called as cultural hegemony. And then you have counterculture. Counterculture is a term that was coined in the 1960s and it denotes parallel cultural movements that question the dominant culture. Classical music was the mainstream music. And then you had live music coming in. That is an instance of counterculture because you had these two things developing at the same time. There were parallel movements that, in fact, questioned the development or the dominance of classical music. And then you have cultural relativism, which is one person's beliefs and ideologies are not to be judged from the viewpoint of another culture. Each culture is different and each culture is unique. Cultural relativism is not judging a particular culture from the viewpoint of another culture. And then you have another concept called cultural jamming. Cultural jamming is again an anti consumerist social activity. Now, you question the reason why people buy a particular product. It is again related to the field of commerce and sociology. By way of cultural jamming, people try to subvert popular consumerist ideologies. For instance, you have this very famous example which I read long back in the year 2014 in one of the newspapers. That was the time when Apple had launched iPhone 6. A group of students in Hong Kong and also scholars were against corporate misbehavior, and they protested at an Apple store in Hong Kong. So, what they did was they unfurled a banner which had these words: I slave harsher than harsher, still made in sweet shops. Now, I slave is actually iPhone. So it actually questions the consumeristic behavior of buying Apple products over and over again, and also it questions the idea that Apple products are far more superior to the other products. So that is what is called as cultural jamming, where you use the brand and the logo of popular brands to question the consumerist culture. Cultural studies is, in fact, it is an interdisciplinary field, and also it is a contested field. I am borrowing this particular phrase from Pramod K. Nair, who in one of his videos he says that cultural studies is a contested. Culture is always in a state of flux, so is the study of culture.
Thanks a lot for watching. Do remember to like, share and subscribe.